In hindsight, I look back at all the reviewers that did release their review video of the Boya Mic2. Not one reviewer actually notated that it wasn't. Well, here it is, May 2025, and I enjoy wireless microphones. And today, this one I really wanted to review, and I'm going to do a little update a little bit further into the review about something that I came across. But today we're going to be looking at the Boya. This is their Mic 2. Dual transmitter, single receiver, and guess what? It records 32-bit internal float audio. Is it any good? Well, that's coming right up. Quick little disclaimer, Boya, they did send me this microphone. They did not pay me for it. They didn't tell me what to say. They have no input, and they don't get to see this video before it's released. That out of the way, let's talk about this kit. Well, first let's start with a quick unboxing of this Boya to see what comes inside the box. So you get the charging case that's got the 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. You get a lightning port cable for your iPhone or a USB Type-C that is actually magnetically connected inside the charging case. And when I say charging case, yes, the charging case will charge up both transmitters and receiver. You also get 2 lapel microphones with this that have the nice little foam covers on them. You get a USB to USB Type-C cable. You get your TRS to TRS cable. You get 2 dead cats that will go on top of the transmitters. You get your little paperwork that will tell you everything about this microphone. And you get a nice little carrying case to carry it all into. As I'm sure that a lot of you know by now, 32-bit float audio gives you the ability to not have to worry so much about audio clipping. And you don't have to worry so much about your camera settings. Now, there is something that's very neat about the receiver on this. So the receiver, you can actually choose through presets for the type of camera that you're using. So if you're a Sony shooter, Fuji shooter, Canon shooter, and you can also go through and choose the brand or the model that you have for little presets, which is very nice. It does have a touch screen on it, and you are able to listen live. So if you want to plug in headphones into this, you can actually live monitor. And by the way, if you're wondering, everything that you're listening to so far is actually coming from the Boya Mic2 that's on my chest right now. It is recording internally. So we just want to see how it sounds. Does it sound nice and robust? There's a lot of wireless microphones out there that either do 16-bit or 24-bit. And 24-bit is fine as long as you set your audio levels correctly. But with this one, I'm really curious on how the 32-bit internal recording sounds. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to set this up. I'm going to use this little guy right here. I'm going to clip this microphone onto this bar along with the DJI Mic2, and I'm also going to use a Rode Wireless Pro just so we can see the difference in audio. And I say that because audio is a really big thing. 32-bit float is really a big selling point for a lot of prosumer wireless microphones, and I say prosumer. So let's just say this real quick. Talking about pricing. So the Rode Wireless Pro kit, it comes in at $399. The DJI Mic2 kit with the receiver and the 2 transmitters comes in at $349. This Boya kit comes in at $209. So when you think about savings, is there enough of a warranted difference between the audio quality of, let's say, a Rode Wireless Pro or the DJI mic or this Boya? Because I will say Boya has really come a long way in their offerings and the quality of their offerings. And while we're talking about quality, gotta say that the build quality is very nice on this. Now this has got a very unique way that this can attach. So I wanna show you this real quick. So I've got an iPhone 16 Pro Max. So this is the connector for it. So we're gonna stick it into the back of the receiver. And when you stick it into the back, it only goes one way. There we go. And you click it on. Now it says that it's plugged. So now you can plug this into the bottom of your iPhone, or if you have an older iPhone like my daughter does, you can use the lightning cable, or the lightning adapter. And this comes in handy with something else that I have to talk about in just a little bit, because when I was doing testing, because by the way, this video was supposed to be released almost 2 weeks ago, and I've waited because I ran into an issue right off the bat with this, because I was really curious. I wasn't going to do so much of a comparison, but for me personally, I just wanted to listen to the different characteristics of the audio quality between this Boya and the DJI Mic2 and the Rode Wireless Pro. And when I did, I was like, whoa, hang on a second. Houston, we have a problem. And that was the fact that the Boya Mic2 was not recording at 32-bit float. It was recording at 24-bit. And it could peak really easy and distort. And I'll show you a clip here in just a little bit of what I did, because I stuck it into Adobe Audition. And I was like, okay, can I recover this? Because, you know, whenever a level peaks, it just gets flat up on top, flat on bottom. And when you try to recover it, all that you have to do is just bring the gain down. And when you bring the gain down, you'll start to see the peaks start to appear. And that's you recovering a lot of the audio, because 32-bit gives you that latitude to recover an over-processed or over-peaked signal, or something that's really quiet. If you're whispering really quietly, you can actually boost it up and not have to worry about bringing so much of the noise floor up with it. So when I noticed that problem, and it's really funny because in hindsight, I look back at all the reviewers that did release their review video of the Boya Mic2, not one reviewer actually notated that it wasn't 32-bit. They were all ranting and raving about, oh, it's got great 32-bit audio quality, and you don't have to worry about it peaking. And that makes me wonder, did they do any testing with it? And because of this microphone, I will be doing very, very in-depth testing with audio quality in the future with a lot of microphones. But when I did reach out to Boya, they were very nice, and they said, you know what? Let me get to the engineers. This is how you have to set it up. So just to let you know, I'll show you here on this touch screen. You're supposed to swipe up. Okay, swipe down, sorry. Transmitter settings, you click that. And she had sent me a video talking about the settings on how you have to make sure, and you click on 32-bit float right there, and can you see that it's outlined in blue? So you have to make sure that it's outlined in blue, and when you do, that means that you're recording in 32-bit float audio. And I did exactly what she said. I sent her a video to show, yes, I'm recording a 32-bit float, and here's the audio file. And I showed her the audio file of the Boya Mic2 versus the Rode Wireless Pro and the DJI Mic2. And there was a big difference between the three of them. And you could see visually that it was not 32-bit. There was no way to recover it. But I will give them kudos. They did reach out to me and say, you know what, engineers have addressed it and they fixed the issue. And you have to use the Boya Central phone app to be able to update the receiver and also both transmitters. So I downloaded it onto my iPhone, but the version of the iPhone didn't correspond with the version of the app that she was talking about. Well, come to find out, I had to use an Android phone. Well, I had to get this old Android phone that I got a couple of years back to do a review on, and it's a brick. It's a heavy thing, but you know what? It is Android. I did download the Boya Central app, and it was the proper app version. I put on the USB Type-C connector on the back of the receiver, plugged it into the phone, and it seamlessly connected. It updated the receiver, both transmitters. I went back and I tested it, and guess what? it does now record 32-bit float. So props to Boya for actually listening to reviewers that are testing this stuff. They find an issue, because my thing is, I'm not going to release a video if it's not saying what it's supposed to do. Wow, I am just rambling on. So let me take this off. I'm going to stick it on to this, and let me power up the DJI Mic2 so we can do a quick little comparison of all three of these to see how they sound. Rode Wireless Pro's recording. So just to show you, the DJI Mic2, the Boya is also still recording internal audio, and the Rode Wireless Pro is recording audio. I'm going to set this up here on the desk. I think it's still within frame here so you guys can see, and I'm going to tilt it up a little bit so that it's facing me. And let's just do a quick little audio test. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. And I'm going to kind of switch back and forth between microphones just so you can hear the ambiance, the difference in tonal quality of the audio that's being picked up by the internal microphones. And I will say that's one thing about the Boya kit that's very nice. Now, the Rode kit does give you 2 lapel microphones, which is kudos, does have a charging case. The wireless, the DJI Mic2 does have a charging case, but you don't get any lapel microphones. You have to use your own or purchase one. And I will be doing a test with the lapel microphone here on the Boya here momentarily. But as I've been going back and forth between these audio samples, can you tell me down in the comment section below which one that you think actually sounds good, which one sounds best? Because that's going to be the real big thing. Because, you know, I've got a little bit of a lower register in my voice, so the tonal quality that you're going to hear with what you get with my voice versus maybe somebody else's voice may be a little bit different. But if you watch any of my previous videos, you kind of know what my voice sounds like. And let's go ahead and change it up and put the lapel microphone. Let me go ahead and clip this onto my shirt. And we'll take this and we'll plug this directly into the Boya. Make sure it's working. I guess I can go ahead and turn off the Rode now because I'm finished with that portion of the test, and also with the DJI Mic2. It seems to be registering on the receiver that it is picking up my voice. So testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will say that looking down at the audio meter on this, that it was running a little bit hotter when I was just using the internal microphone versus now using the lapel microphone. But that's really not a bad thing, because considering that I am recording the audio internally 32-bit float, I should be able just to raise it up and equal it out to where it is minus 12 LUF so that we have a good steady audio signal. So after listening to the audio samples, I can tell you what my opinion is about this Boya microphone. So if you remember earlier, I said that I had it in Audition. I want to show you those video files just so you can see what it looks like, what I was talking about the audio signal and the audio being recorded from this Boya Mic2, how it was actually clipped top and bottom, and there was no way to recover that. Let me show you that now. So here's the portion where I yelled, and I'll let you listen.
Records on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to yell really, really loud. And 1, 2.
Okay, so now I'm going to turn down the gain. So if you see where I turn down the gain, you see where it's flat right there? That flat part means that it's not 32-bit float. And what I mean by that is, let me show you another clip from the, let's say the Rode. And I'm going to open this file. So right there is where I yelled. We'll get right to that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if it...
But watch what happens when I turn down the gain. You see it's not flat. all that information is still there. So after listening to all of this, listening back to all three microphones, the Rode Wireless Pro, the DJI Mic2, and this Boya Mic2 kit, well, is it worth it or is it not? Well, I have to say that when you think about a price standpoint with a microphone and the audio quality that you get, is there a proposition value there? Are you getting really good audio for the money that you're paying? So I will say still that the Rode Wireless Pro comes in first place, but that's my personal opinion. You may think it's a little bit differently, and that's fine. If you do, tell me down in the comment section below. But I think that the Rode Wireless Pro came in first place. And I think when it comes to the DJI Mic2 or this Boya Mic2, I'm going to say that those are head-to-head. So when I think about it that way, I have to give this one actually 2 thumbs up because of everything that you get with it. You get the charging case where you can charge up the transmitter and the receiver a couple of times over. I like the build quality of the microphone. You get the little magnet that you can put on the back. And I will say that it's very small. And when you look at it compared to the DJI Mic2, it's a lot smaller. Even though the DJI Mic2 is still pretty small, this one's a lot smaller. And I think that the audio is actually very good that's coming out of this Boya. And then when you think of all accessories that you get with the 2 lapel microphones, the dead cats and all that, at $209 versus $349 for the DJI Mic2, yeah, I'm going to go with the Boya. If I had an opportunity to choose between the two, I would choose the Boya because for me, I think for $130 some odd savings, yeah, I think that $130 is definitely well saved to get the Boya kit because it's going to meet all of your needs and especially all the functionality that you get with it. All in all, I've had no complaints. It's worked just perfectly fine. I've had this for over a month now. Like I said, 2 weeks ago, it was supposed to be put up. So it gave me 2 weeks to work on it. And when I was listening back, I was like, okay, I got to stop right there with that 32-bit float and get that addressed. But props to Boya. You fixed the issue and you fixed it well. If you are someone who just bought the Boya Mic2 because you saw somebody else's review, definitely get yourself an Android phone. Use that Boya Central app and update the firmware on the receiver and also both transmitters to the latest firmware. So all in all, I think it's a really good product from Boya. 2 thumbs up. Product links down in the description below so that you guys can check it out for yourself. And as always, I'll catch you in the next review. Bye-bye.